Beautiful. So we are now streaming live. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. And I am just going to share my screen and say hello. My name is Katie Walker, and I am going to be presenting on emotional freedom techniques. And I'm going to be teaching one technique from the EFT, and this is part of a self-care and stress management tool or opportunity to have a resource in your toolkit. But firstly, I do just want to say that I'm pleased to be part of the IPHM Festival, which is a collaborative event that brings together everyone interested in holistic wellness and beauty. The event is organised by IPHM, and you can find out more about them on the iphm.co.uk website. And I do just want to say there are a couple of agreements or rules for this workshop for the next however long we're together. Essentially that if you have a question, please raise your hand, even though there's a small group that I can see, it would still just be great to put your hand up. If you're going to speak, please just unmute yourself before you do speak. To respect each other's individual personal experiences. We all have our own experiences and different thoughts, perspectives. So it's really important just to be really respectful. Racism, sexism and discrimination of any kind is not welcome here. So should that come up, I will just very kindly move you along. I have the capacity to do that by getting rid of you out of the Zoom room. And please keep what people say here confidential and just respect each other's privacy. And if you do have a question that you don't feel comfortable asking in this forum, please feel free to actually pop it into the chat panel so I can answer that discreetly. And I do just want to go through a disclaimer here to say that the information that I'm providing is a presentation that's not a substitute for counselling or advice of a medical nature. The tools and materials provided are deemed educational and not guarantees of any kind. Participants with diagnosed medical or psychological conditions are advised to seek the recommendations of an appropriate licensed healthcare professional. While EFT is still considered by many to be an experimental self-help tool, others describe it as an evidence-supported modality. So reviewing, accessing, viewing or downloading this workshop does not constitute a professional relationship with the presenter. If you do not agree to the above terms, then you should not use the information provided, and anyone who continues beyond this slide will be deemed to have accepted this disclaimer. So with that said, I'll just move forward. So just so you know who I am, so you don't think that I've just walked off the street and thought I could just give this presentation. I'm an advanced certified EFT practitioner. I'm also a certified EFT relationship coach, EFT standing for emotional freedom techniques. I also hold a diploma of counselling. I've worked in both the corporate and private space for over 20 years. My first career was in human resources and recruitment, and now for the last couple of years I've been running and building my practice as an EFT coach. My passion is about helping people to understand themselves so that they can live a more happier and healthier life wholeheartedly. Primarily, I'm using EFT as my modality to help people get to that point. And I just love spreading the word and sharing the word about EFT. So what I'm going to go through today is what is EFT? It's not the electronic funds transfer that a lot of people sometimes think that it might be. I'm just going to talk very briefly about stress and the impact on us, how EFT can be used, what are the tapping points for EFT, which will make more sense when I explain what EFT is. And then I am going to show you one tool, because EFT, emotional freedom techniques, as you can hear, it's plural. There's many techniques within EFT, so I'm going to show you just one technique for the purpose of today. And then just explain how EFT, when you know a couple of the different techniques, how you can actually use it and when you can actually use it. And then just a few final thoughts. So what is EFT? EFT is a cognitive, somatic, energetic practice, essentially. And so let me just break that down for you. Cognitive meaning the way we think about ourselves and the world around us and our environment. The somatic piece is really that body awareness and that felt sense in the body. And then the actual tapping part of EFT, which is somatic, being on the body. And then the energetic piece, so we're dealing with energy our energy systems and energy fields. It has been described as psychological acupuncture because we are using the acupressure points on our body, so meridian points on our body, and it's used both within a one-on-one environment and also in group work as well. So I do both one-on-ones and group workshops. So stress and the impact on stress on us. So excessive stress, which a lot of us are experiencing more so in the last year, I'm sure in a lot of periods in the last little while, but excessive stress is directly impacting our nervous system and therefore our health and well-being. And we have to have so much compassion all around the world. I'm actually in Perth in Western Australia, and I'm quite shielded from what's going on with the COVID pandemic, but you know, I'm just so compassionate for others that are experiencing that particular part of what's going on in life. But there are so many things that contribute to stress in our day-to-day life that just impact us. And we can be triggered at any stage by people, by situations, by noises, smells, tastes. All of our senses can actually create unrest in us. And what happens is our in our body, our amygdala, which is the control center of our brain, which is our fight or flight, our freeze response center, can actually get hijacked. So when we think we're calm, and then suddenly we're triggered, and what happens then is that our ability to think clearly, to make good choices, we therefore make poor choices. We choose to potentially drink the wrong drinks or eat the wrong foods, and we can say and do things that are just inappropriate that we go, oh my gosh, afterwards just have so much regret for. And you know, we just do inappropriate things when we aren't in a regulated state. And what's happening when we're going into this sort of triggered response or stress response is that our cortisol and adrenaline is actually starting to flow through our bodies. And long term, that's what can cause the illness and disease that we can experience in our bodies. And ultimately, stress can really stop us from living the life that we want to live, the life that we dream of having. So EFT is a modality I use to help work through that. I've included this slide just to show some research. Now, Dr. Peter Stapleton, who is actually in Australia, leads a lot of the research around EFT. Now, this is one of her pieces of work, and this was over 4 days of a workshop of people going through EFT. And you can see here over the 4 days that there have been significant changes in the health and psychological markers. You can see that cortisol is down by 37%. Now, they did a combined saliva testing and questionnaires to actually assess the information to obtain the results for this. But you can see the immune markers are up, pain is down 57%, anxiety down 40%, depression 35%, PTSD symptoms 32% down, happiness 31% up, and blood pressure 8% down, food cravings is 74% down. So significant changes just over 4 days of using EFT. There would have been a combination of the techniques used through over the 4 days, but you can see that how impactful EFT can be. So what can EFT be used for? Well, it can actually be used for a range of things, and that includes physical and emotional pain, from anxiety, depression, sadness, through to grief, fears of getting up and doing some public speaking. Now, I actually have to admit, because of this going live, it's not something I normally do group workshops, which I know are live, everyone's in the Zoom room, but going live onto Facebook is very different for me. So I admittedly had to do some tapping beforehand just to try and calm myself down a little bit. But fears of public speaking, fears of going out into social gatherings, fears of doing an exam, fears of doing anything for the first time, fears of what can really be quite debilitating for people, phobias around spiders, snakes, your standard insects, phobias can be anything and everything. I have to say that just very quickly, I worked with someone that had she had a number of rats as pets, and I had to actually tap on going and working with her to be able to be there for her, to be able to deal with her having rats around her. And so I worked on that, and I was able to actually be there, be present, and still have these rats running around, and I was actually doing okay. Cravings, now they can be anything from cigarettes to food to alcohol, any form of craving that we experience, body aches and pains, weight issues, relationship issues, any core and limiting beliefs. So I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, whatever is that little voice in our head that pops up to say that we can't be or do or say whatever we want to in that moment. Now, I say that EFT can be used for anything, and I say try it on everything and anything, but I do have a caveat to say that if you have experienced trauma or have a sense that you may have gone through some traumatic event, please, please, please initially work with a practitioner, because we don't know what we're suppressing. We don't know what's in our subconscious, and we do not want anything to be activated and for you not to have the skills to be able to regulate. And ultimately, when we're working one-on-one or in a group situation, we have the skills to keep people safe, to be able to regulate and to ensure that, that our reaction or dysregulation is in a controlled environment. So please just think about engaging with a practitioner if there's something that's really quite significant for you that you need to have some support with. So I'm just going to show you what the tapping points are. You'll see that I have taken photos of myself. I do apologise for that. But what we do when we start tapping, we start on the side of the hand. And that's the fleshy part of the side of the hand between the wrist and the little finger. And this is where we're ultimately tuning in to what we're going to be tapping on. So that could be a situation that you've just experienced, or it could be if we're doing body aches and pains, what the feeling in the body is. And that's where we're going, even though I have this situation, I just accept that that's how I feel. And that's just how it is. So we're stating the problem, but this is just how it is. So that's the reality of it. And then the first point that we go to is the top of the head. And then the start of the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, the chin point, the collarbone point, which is essentially where a man would tie a bow tie, and you go down about half an inch, and you can use both hands to tap, or you can use your middle finger and your thumb finger on the one hand to tap. What it feels most comfortable. And then the last point is just underneath your arm, the bra line for a lady, if you wear a bra, or a hand width down from your armpit, just under your arm. Now, I have actually got points if you're choosing not to touch your face because of COVID and for safety reasons to not be touching your hands. You can obviously wash your hands and make sure your hands are clean before doing any tapping to be able to touch your face. But if you would like not to, then I've just shown you there. You go to the side of the hand, the top of the head, you miss all the face points, you go to the collarbone, you do your, underneath your chest, which is underneath the breasts for the women, and then under the arm, and then we do just the wrist points. Okay. So what we're going to do is what's called chasing the pain or body sensation. Now, I'm just going to explain a little bit about why we might do that. So stress can appear as an emotion like fear, worry, sadness, anger, disappointment, hurt. The language of emotion is huge. We typically only use a few of those words, but we do, stress can appear in various forms. So, and emotional stress can also manifest in the body. So research shows a strong connection between stress and a multitude of physical conditions, including physical pain of any kind, digestive problems, heart disease, skin condition, including eczema, autoimmune disease, and a lot more. Now, I have to just very quickly share a story with you. I was diagnosed with Graves' disease after my daughter was born. She was 10 months old. And I went to an endocrinologist, and I certainly went through the treatment that he recommended, went through that for 2 years. And then I was in what they call remission for a period of time. then it came back. And I, if I think back, I must have had an increased amount of stress in my life for that to have happened. Went back to the endocrinologist, felt that I wanted to actually try alternative ways of treating it. So I used EFT, and probably 2 years ago, 18 months, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, went back, and I'm now off medication, and I just have to go back every 6 months to a year now for blood tests. But I have to say that I worked on all of the thoughts and feelings around the having Graves' disease, and then what was actually happening to me leading up to that point, and was able to work through it. And the endocrinologist essentially said I was going to have it removed or be on medication for the rest of my life, or, so I thought, no, I don't think I want that. So I tried EFT and it worked, but I'm not advocating treating yourself without having the support of either a medical practitioner, a psychologist. Do a dual approach until you're in a position where you can make your own choices and it feels right to go down the path that you want. So I'm going to ask you all, including my beautiful people in the Zoom room, to work with me on this. I do have someone who's kindly offered to be a demo, which I will work with her in a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen to be able to work with her. But for the rest of you, and including Sue, who's going to be my demo, I do just want you to take a moment and just for me, just close your eyes, and I just want you to do a body scan. So just scanning your body from the tops of your toes, just bringing it all the way through, up your legs, knees, thighs, stomach area, just all the way up your torso, to the top of your head. I just want you to be open to and aware of any body sensations that you might be feeling. Any little aches and pains, little hurts that you might have, anything that's showing up for you. And I just want you to just rate the sensation. And this is what we do in when we're working in emotional freedom, with emotional freedom techniques. We rate what we're doing because we want to know that it's working. We want to know that it's coming down. Or if it's going up, then we want to know that we need to change our approach or modify what we're saying. So from 0 to 10, 10 being whatever the body sensation is, it's just out there too much. 0, there's nothing. So just rate that sensation for me. And just obviously just do this on a piece of paper if you can. And then what I want you to do is just think about whether that sensation has a colour, whether that sensation or feeling has a shape, square, round, triangle, rectangle, hexagonal, whether it has a texture, rough, smooth, abrasive, whether it has a temperature, hot, cold, lukewarm, and whether it has a weight to it. So whether it's light, heavy, medium, and it might not have any of that. So if I can just recap on what I'm asking you to do. So just rate it from 0 to 10. That's the sensation in your body. I want you to give it a colour, give it a shape, give it a texture, give it a temperature, and give it a weight. And then I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment because the rest will be explained. So Sue, thank you so much for being my demo. I really do appreciate that. Now, before we get started, I do just want to ask, how are you feeling about just doing this? Because what we can do, if you're feeling anything, we can actually do some tapping just to help you calm down around that. If you're feeling great, then we can start the process.
Yeah, I am feeling fine. I did come up with something in my shoulders,
beautiful.
But yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you some questions now in terms of what it is you're feeling. So it's in your shoulders. And I'm just going to make some notes as you're speaking to me. So it's in your shoulders. And what was the intensity of the sensation? What would you rate that?
I would say kind of like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Does it hold a colour or have a colour?
I wrote orange.
Orange, good. And what about a shape?
Square.
Beautiful. And does it have a texture to it?
I just put rough.
Yeah. Rough. And what about a temperature? Warm. And weight?
I didn't put anything about that. I would say kind of medium, really.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. And can I just ask, Sue, were you aware of this feeling before you started this, or were you, when you did that, checking into the body? Because sometimes we don't even know we're holding anything until we go have that sort of sit down and rest moment, and then we go, oh gosh, I'm feeling something. Or we're very much aware of the aches and pains. So
I think it's there kind of quite a lot, but it's only when I stopped and paused that I noticed it, and when I exercise as well. So I think it's a little bit of stress kind of sitting in my shoulders.
Okay, so you feel that it might be stress. All right. So what we're going to do is, when we do the tapping, we do start on the side of the hand, and we're going to say a statement essentially. And what I say, you're going to repeat, and we say it 3 times. And so, and then I'll just check in to make sure it feels okay for you. And we state the statement, we state the information, and then we have what's called an acceptance statement. So that's, even though I feel this, I'm okay, or I still accept myself and how I feel. There's different variations to the acceptance statement. I typically keep it to, I still accept myself and how I feel. Some people, if you are using others on YouTube or what have you, they may say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Sometimes that might not resonate though, and we might not be able to say that fully and really mean that. So I just choose to say I deeply and completely accept myself, but I will check in just to make sure that actually feels okay for you. So if we can start, I'm just going to get you to start tapping on the side of the hand, and I'm just going to say to everyone else that's out there and doing that with us, just to turn your bit of paper over. So you've written down what the feeling is in your body, you've said the colour, the shape, the texture, the temperature and the weight. If you have done all that, just turn your piece of paper over, and I'm going to get you to actually use the words that I use with Sue. And then we'll do a round and I'll check in, and we'll just keep doing a couple of rounds and see where it goes. Okay. Alrighty, so Sue, I'm just going to get you to repeat my words. So even though I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
It's rough, warm and medium in weight.
It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
Good. Now, does all that land with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we just say this another 2 times. So even though I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
Even though I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
It's rough, warm and it's medium in weight.
It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
Good. And one more time. So even though I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
Even though I have this orange square shape in my shoulders.
It's rough, warm and medium in weight.
It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
I can still accept myself and how I feel.
Great. And then we just go to the top of the head. And this is where we're essentially just saying the words that I've just said. So orange square shape in my shoulders.
Orange square shape in my shoulders.
Yep. It's rough, warm and medium in weight.
Rough.
And that's just the start of your eyebrow. Yep.
Rough, warm, medium in weight.
Perfect. And then the side of the eye. Perfect. This orange square shape in my shoulders.
Orange square shape in my shoulders.
Under the eye, and it's just on the bony part of your eye. And with glasses on, because of the vibration, you don't necessarily have to do that. I just wanted to show you. But and so we just say this orange square shape.
Orange square shape in my shoulders.
Yep.
Which
Perfect.
Warm. I can't remember all the words.
Medium in weight. Good one. No, that's okay, because I'll help and I'll say the words for you. So the orange square shape of my shoulders.
The orange square shape in my shoulders.
Perfect. Just under the lip. It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
Beautiful. The collarbone point, which is just where you would, the bony part of your collarbone, and you just come down 1/2 inch, and you can use both hands to do it like that. I typically use my middle finger and my thumb, and I just tap like that. Yep. So this orange square shape in my shoulders.
This orange square shape in my shoulders.
And then the last point just being under the arm. It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
It's rough, warm, medium in weight.
Perfect. So now what I would actually do is come back to the side of the hand and just say, so can I just get you to check in your shoulders and just let me know what you noticed? Has that come down from 5? Did it go up? Because sometimes when you start tapping, although we want what we call the SUDS, the subjective unit of discomfort, that rating to come down, sometimes it can actually go up because we're starting to tune into our body and our subconscious. So how's that feeling for you? It was 5 out of 10. What would you say? What do you notice?
I can't actually feel anything in my shoulders. I think it was probably tension because I feel as though I've relaxed completely. So I actually can't feel anything anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I need you to say yes, there's something there because I want to.
No, but I think it must have been anxiety and tension that I was feeling. I'm not saying it wouldn't be there if I was exercising, but at this moment in time, I can't actually feel anything.
Right. Okay. Well, you're amazing. There you go. Job's done. So let me just get you to close your eyes and really, really test that. So just close your eyes and just go into your shoulder space. And just really breathe into that area. Just see if there's anything there.
I'd just say it's a very kind of mild kind of awareness, really, more than a pain or anything like that.
Okay, so can we just do one more round on that, if that's okay? So what we do with chasing the pain, it's called chasing the pain because sometimes it is that actual physical pain to an actual sensation in our body. So it's chasing the pain, chasing the sensation. So what I'm going to ask you again is it still orange or has it changed? Because this is where it can be quite interesting. It can either go from your shoulders to your stomach, to your head, to your knee, to your legs. Like I've worked with some people for a good amount of time. We just chase that all the way through the body, and that's just working on something in our subconscious essentially. But what tends to happen after each round, the color might change, the weight might change, the shape might change. So, and that might not be the case for you, but just checking in, even though it's just a dull or light feeling there, what color would it be?
I would say yellow.
Yellow. Okay. And what shape, if it has a shape?
A circle.
Circle. And does it have a texture?
Not completely smooth, but smoother than it was.
Okay. Smoother. And what about a temperature?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. And does it have a weight to it?
Quite a lightweight, really.
Lightweight. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll just do one more round and just see whether we can get it down completely. And I'm just going to say to anyone else that might be joining right now or watching this after the fact, I would ask you to just check in as well and just see whatever you were working on, whether there may have been a shift in that. And again, just colour, shape, texture, weight and temperature, and just see if there's anything shifted, and certainly just looking at the rating that you may have given it. And so can you just rate it for me, Sue? Just what would you give it?
I'd probably say a 1 at the moment.
Okay, let's see if we can get it to a 0.
Okay.
And then you'll make me look exceptionally great. Alrighty, so even though I still have this sensation.
No, I still have this sensation.
Yeah, it's yellow and it's a circle.
It's yellow and it's a circle.
It's smoother.
It's smoother.
It's lukewarm and lighter in weight.
It's lukewarm and lighter in weight.
I accept this is just how I feel.
I accept this is just how I feel.
Great. And even though I still have this sensation in my shoulders.
even though I still have this sensation in my shoulders.
It's yellow in colour and it's a circle.
It's yellow in colour and it's a circle.
And it's smoother and lukewarm.
It's smoother and lukewarm.
And it's a lightweight.
And it's a lightweight.
And I accept that's just how I feel.
And I accept that's just how I feel.
And even though I still have this sensation in my shoulders.
And even though I still have this sensation in my shoulders.
It's yellow and a circle.
It's yellow and a circle.
It's smoother and lukewarm.
It's smoother and lukewarm.
It's a lighter weight.
It's a lighter weight.
I accept that's just how I'm feeling.
I accept that's just how I'm feeling.
Perfect. So the first point again, top of the head, yellow in colour.
Yellow in colour.
It's a circle and smoother.
It's a circle and smoother.
Side of the eye, it's lukewarm and a lighter weight.
It's lukewarm and a lighter weight.
Under the eye, this sensation in my shoulders is a yellow colour.
Sensation in my shoulders is yellow in colour.
Under the nose, it's a circle and smoother.
It's a circle and smoother.
Under the lip, it's lukewarm and a lighter weight.
Lukewarm and a lighter weight.
Collarbone, it's yellow in colour and a circle.
It's yellow in colour and a circle.
And under the arm, it's smoother, lukewarm and a lighter weight.
It's smoother, lukewarm and a lighter weight.
Great. So I'll just get you to come back to the side of the hand and just let me know what you notice. How's it going?
Yeah, I can't actually feel anything. I think I noticed a slight sensation when I did the body scan the second time, but I can't actually feel anything now.
Okay. I just want people to know I have not paid you, have I?
No.
First time I met you. Have you actually, let me ask, have you done tapping before?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being a demonstration. And I'm glad that we were able to work through this. And so if you're noticing that when you're exercising, just perhaps what you could do is tap. If you're feeling it before you exercise, just use that technique before you exercise or after you exercise. There is another there's several techniques within EFT, but the other one, which is what we call basic EFT, could be amazing just for what might be happening before you exercise in terms of what you might be thinking about exercising. Or it just could be that stress, what is it that you're experiencing at the moment? What's causing you to feel stressed that you need to tap on to work through. So thank you so very much. I'm going to share my screen again and just finish the presentation. Thank you, Sue. Alrighty. So hopefully you all felt something if you were doing that with us. So how to know what you should and should not be working on yourself. So as I said earlier, if there's any history or some sort of sense that there may have been something in your past of abuse or serious trauma, please engage the skills of a practitioner. If you've tried EFT and you just don't feel that it's actually worked for you, or you're feeling worse, again, engage the skills of a practitioner, because sometimes it's just fine-tuning what you might be doing. And ultimately what we do when we're working on our stuff, we have to actually be quite specific. So although there are many, many benefits from tapping on what other people say, when we actually identify what's going on for us, it's going to give greater benefit. And there's a saying, to be terrific with EFT is to be specific. So that could be what's going on for you if it's not working. And if you can't get to the root of the problem on your own, essentially, if this same stuff keeps coming up, that same shit keeps being put in front of you, and you're thinking, why is this happening? Then, again, get someone to help you, because ultimately, sometimes we're just too close to it and we need support. And I have a swap partner. I've been using EFT for many, many years now, and this is my business. I work with people day in, day out, but I still have someone that, a few people actually, that I swap with to work on my stuff, which comes up and sometimes slaps me in the face when I didn't even realize it was there still. So it is really important to just be aware of when you should be using the skills of a practitioner. So with EFT, and I've only shown you one technique, but ultimately what you can do when you know the range of techniques within EFT, you can do silent tapping. So this is really great when you're out and about and you don't want anyone knowing that you're dysregulated or that you're feeling a certain feeling. You can do silent tapping, you can do imaginal tapping, you can rant and tap. So if you're feeling really pissed off with someone, and you can just be tapping on all those points that I just showed you and actually just saying how you're feeling in the moment. He or she is really pissing me off. I feel really angry right now. So you can just rant and tap. And if you are feeling very dysregulated, just to be tapping in silence, just gently looking around the room and trying to just bring yourself back to a place of calm. And that's just by tapping calmly on those spots. Walking and tapping, again, that's actually using that somatic piece of walking and tapping and ranting. Walk, tap, and rant. Stealth tapping, again, that's just quietly tapping, which you can do without actually tapping on your points. You can just kind of hold the points. It's still not as discreet as you can be, but you can actually, there's points on the side of your fingers that you can use to tap. And I don't have time to go into all of that now. Unfortunately, there's a point that we can rub, and then just the touching those points and breathing, just tap and hold and breathe in to the next point, start of the eyebrow, tap or hold and breathe in. And you'll find that will actually bring down and regulate as you need. So just to share some final thoughts with you, what you can't do with this information, obviously, is pretend that you're a practitioner and use it to help others. What you can do is actually share it with your loved ones, but just don't assume that place of a practitioner. If you want more tapping and want to work with others, I can certainly help you, not necessarily working with me, but I've got a huge network of EFT practitioners around the world that I can refer you to, and choose only experienced certified practitioners to work to, because anyone that's certified would have gone through some significant training, and they know what they're doing. They know how to keep you safe. They know how to regulate you. They know how to bring you back from a place that might not be particularly nice. So just remember to work with someone that's certified. And I just thank you so much for joining me, and I thank Sue for being my demo and for the opportunity. And I do just want to say again, thank you for joining me. This talk is part of the IPHM Festival. If you're interested in holistic wellness and beauty, then please sign up to their newsletter, and that's at iphm.co.uk. And my details, I can be contacted at www.katiewalkereft.com.au. My Instagram's KatieWalkerEFT, and my email's katiewalkereft@gmail.com. So a whole lot of Katie Walker EFT there. But I do want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.